IMS been around for 32 years, 33 years, so a little bit younger than the AS400, I'm afraid. We've now developed a large team of people with a lot of skills. We're having all the issues of other development companies with resources. What normally happens when we get a requirement, in this case Bill will talk you through, we get a fairly high level requirement, often a phone call, we've got this issue, in this case Bill wanted a supplier portal. It started with that and it evolved. We then develop a solution over correspondence with the customer. It's a matter of using our business and technical experience to come up with workable solutions, and obviously the customer has a lot of ideas what they want, and it's this working as a team to come up with the right solution. And with this one, that's what we were trying to do, was to improve the efficiency of the supply chain, which is very important. I mean, EI manufacture, Bill go into this, a manufacturing island, they make smoke and carbon dioxide alarms. Their supply chain is stretched around the world, and obviously during COVID they had one or two issues.
Yeah.
And obviously that highlighted the need that as they're growing, they're about, is it 430 million euros or something at the moment?
Yeah.
Expanding rapidly because of government regulations that dictating that public housing has to have smoke and carbon dioxide alarms in it. It's a good growth market, but they've got to supply, and obviously they supply from all around the world. They've also had Brexit, which has affected things. So that was what they were looking to do, was to automate the connection with their suppliers in a transparent way. So suppliers could see information from a portal, and Bill could see information coming back, all through a secure portal, and directly linked to their IBM Power 9 in Ireland. And obviously some of the extra things was to improve document tracking and give analysis of real-time data, so the people with the right authority could see their data, download it into Excel if they wanted to, and work with it without the necessity for emails, Dropbox, SharePoint or anything like that.
Yeah.
So what is done on the portal. So shall I hand over to you?
Yeah, so hello guys, as Simon said, my name is Bill Doran. I'm just a user. Pretty much everything that's happened this morning and yesterday has gone over my head completely. But what I do know is what I want as a customer. And I suppose the biggest issue we had, I'm the supply chain manager for EI Electronics, as Simon said. The biggest issue we've had in the last 3 years is our suppliers couldn't supply, mainly because of the issues around COVID. And the biggest problems we had was our staff couldn't get the information fast enough to our suppliers. So we came up with this concept of a portal. It's not a new concept, but I suppose where it was different from my perspective was I had used loads of portals, and a lot of the portals were made so complicated that if you're logging on to someone else's portal and you're using it for 10 or 20 minutes a week, you want to be able to use it fast and without any messing. So what I wanted was a portal that would give our guys inside EI Electronics the information, but would also give the suppliers the information without them getting bogged down, because they've 100 customers to look after. The reason I went down the road of IMS is because we had used IMS before for software development on the existing System 21, and I didn't want a situation where we had to have a techie in-house basically taking the information from the system and putting it onto our portal. So what we did is we designed a portal. Simon designed the portal, I should say. I told him what I wanted. He went off with his guys and did it. And it takes all the information from System 21. Once it's set up, there's no one involved in between. The information is live from the system, going straight into the portal. It's updated every hour. The beauty about it is all the information that the buyers need to do their job is there right in front of them. But all the information that the suppliers need to keep us going is also there in front of them. So I'm going to show you a demo now of it. Hopefully. Yeah, okay. So this is our log on screen, and you just click on this. So from an internal perspective, this is the screen that our buyers switch on to. So it has a lot of basic information. but it's basic information that would take 10 or 20 minutes to run if you're just going into System 21 and running it. So now it's just like every other web page. Everything you're looking for is here. So spend year to date is here. Spend for last year is here. Price increases are here. So just on price increases, over the last 3 years, every manufacturing company in the world has been scrambling to get material to keep production going. The number one issue has been to get material. Price has taken a step backwards. What's happened now is all the companies that are still in business, because a lot of companies went out of business because of costs and shortages of supply, but now the focus has changed. So the focus now has changed to say, get me back to the costs that I had in 2020 or 2019. Now, the vast amount of information that you need to do that, it would just take the buyers too long to do it. They'd be spending their day analysing everything to see what a supplier has charged us now versus 3 years ago. But all that information is on the system. It's a matter of getting the information out of the system. So this is just one little program, one little module that IMS did for us. And what this does is, if you click on this, it's saying 4.5 million. So what it's telling me here is, if I bought the same material, the same goods, exactly the same goods in 2020, it would have been 4.5 million cheaper. So straight away, what it's doing is it's targeting my buyers to say, okay, where is that money? What suppliers do we need to talk to try and get our prices back to 2020 prices? By the way, 2020 is a field I can change to whatever I want. I could have picked 2019, which probably was the start of it, but we picked 2020 because we had some new suppliers coming on. So anyway, so if you click that, then you see the detail. So what it's doing here is it's saying year to date spend 7.1 million. If January 2020, the same material bought would be 5.7 million. So it's saying we paid 1.3 million more today to buy the same material. So for me, as a supply chain manager, I need to talk to all these guys, but now I'm talking to them very specifically. I'm not saying your costs are gone through the roof. I'm not saying your costs are gone up 20%. I'm saying your costs are gone up 24%, and they'll say, where have they gone up 24%? And then I can click on that and it'll show me the part number, the quantity I bought, the price for that particular component in 2020 versus the price today. So again, I'm not doing any work to get this information. The only work I've done is actually to get Simon to put this in, to develop this for me in the first place. But it's a very powerful tool for me to give to our suppliers and to give to our buyers to say, this is the money that we need to get back. Start working on it. If you can't get it back from this supplier, can we dual source that component off someone else to get that price? So that's the target. So it's probably the most powerful tool we have at the moment. To give you an idea, in the last 6 weeks, we probably saved €1 million by using this tool, because when you're talking general terms with a supplier, we all do it. If you don't have specifics, you're not going to get anywhere. With specifics, you can say to the supplier, this is what you're charging me for that. Can you get back to where you were in 2020? Because if not, I have another guy that will. So it's a very targeted tool, and I'll show you the supplier's side of what they see now in a second, but it's definitely probably on this whole portal, it's probably the most powerful tool we have at the moment. This one here shows you components past due. So when you click on that, by supplier, it's telling you what parts are past due. So our system allows us the field to say how long a lead time is on a part. So it might say 20 days. So if you order it today, system calculates 20 days past that, and if it hasn't arrived in, if it hasn't been GRN'd, booked in on our system, it'll come into this field. So again, up to this point, it was a case that production would tell the buyers we're out of a part. Now it's a case that the buyers keep an eye on this and they say, this part should have been in, it's not in. They got on the phones and they contacted the suppliers. So again, it's cutting out the time that's wasted between something not arriving in and then it being a problem in production then. Shortages. So, you all familiar with what MRP is? Okay.
Assume not. Go on.
Okay. So MRP is the system whereby if I want to make this laptop, I put down, okay, for the next 35 weeks, I want to make 10 laptops this week, 20 laptops next week, and so on. The system then looks at the laptop and says, okay, there's 500 components in that laptop. Break it down to the components, and it sends it out to all the suppliers. So what it does is it basically takes the top level finished goods, breaks it down, sends it out to all the suppliers, and then they know their requirements. So when the system does that, then by having this report here, and I click on next week, it shows me what I'm going to be out of next week. So the top line there is showing you the on-hand quantity, and to the right it's showing you the quantity that's required in week 21 and week 22. And when you see it in red here, that means that that's when you're going to be out of it. So again, you can click on that and it'll actually tell you, you have placed orders here. That's when it should be in, and these are the models that it's used in. So it's given you, I'm obviously doing a great presentation. This man's falling asleep at the back of the classroom. I'll be asking questions. I'll be asking questions very soon. So the whole idea of this is it gives you all the information that you need, because having buyers in the business are very expensive. So having buyers that are negotiating and trying to file dual sources is where you want them spending their money. You don't want them spending their money crunching through information that really the system has it. So this is just giving the information on a plate so that the buyers are spending their time making money for the company as opposed to gathering information then. Okay.